Continuing with our face, we're going to go ahead and let's see, make sure I've got all these selected here. Okay. I've got my weight for my stroke at 3 points. I finished my glasses here, like I said in the last video. So, you know what? Actually, I missed this edge here. Let's go ahead and put this corner on my glasses here. View. And it's not using the right brush. Let's make sure our brush is selected. Make sure it's at 3 points. Much better. Trying to see if I can get that corner a little more. Yeah, there we go. Great. Great. So I'm going to tweak it just a little more. I'm being picky with this. I apologize. Okay, that's good. All righty. Got that there. And I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the head. And I like to start with the ear. Ears are fun. We have all these crazy curvy things with our ears, and it's really amazing how all of those curves help just resonate sound. I think it's really fascinating. So I like to start with those. I'm going to start here and go around. Now, again, my hair is actually going to come over the edge of this line here. So that's why I'm doing that line first there. My hair comes over top here. So I'm just going to start the top of my ear about there. Come around, go down here. Kind of curved a little too much at the top here. I'm going to try to redo that at here closer to the edge there. There we go. Continuing that same line. Come down. My earlobes do kind of stick out a little bit. And so we have this kind of curve around, floppy thing going on. Kind of got those Buddha earlobes a little bit. Cool. I'm going to go back. I'm going to do one of these canals here. Do have a little line there and a little line there. Those are way too thick, so I'm going to shift select both of those and bring the weight down a tad. Just 1 point should be fine. And at this point, it's kind of up to you how you want to decide to do the rest of these lines. I'm going to include this one. I've got some other creases in here. I've got something like that there. I've got this one in here, this one in here. But honestly, I feel like that's probably mostly enough. Let me back out and kind of see. I'm going to undo that one. I'm going to back out and see what I think is necessary. Yeah, I think just doing this one is the main thing. This one could maybe have been, nah, I'll leave that. It's a little bit of an experimentation sometimes. You think that because you're tracing your face and you're like, well, all the lines are clearly there. I mean, it's not like I'm just making stuff up. Well, sometimes you get to decide, do I really want to use that line? Do I want to simplify it a little bit? You don't have to adhere to exactly what's there and include everything that's there. So, because all these other lines that I'm adding look kind of out of place. They're going to start to make, oh, maybe that one's not too bad. Maybe I just do something like that. I still don't like how that looks. That's not too bad. I'll leave that. Sometimes, and when you watch, I put a video in the module up for inspiration. The Chi World, Kai World. I don't know how to say it properly. I think it's Chi World. But that guy does an amazing job. And he does it so quickly because he's done so many of them. And so he kind of knows already like which lines look best and stuff like that. Like, so he kind of already has a go-to of like, these lines are going to work better than others, So anyway, but in this case, like I've, been forever since I've traced my own ear. So I'm just kind of guessing what lines I want to use, but I think that works really well. This looks good. So I'm going to start then at the edge of my earlobe and follow my jaw down and around. Actually, I'm going to cut into my beard a little bit because it'll be nice to let the beard, I'm going to cut into the beard a little bit because then I'll let the beard kind of be the edge of my jaw.
Yeah.
Now you could do all different things here for your neck if you want. Like G World does this kind of dripping thing where he has kind of like, different, like the neck has been, cut and it's dripping. You could have some crazy like zigzag thing going on, if you wanted to have it kind of, it's just some stylistic thing if you wanted to or whatever. Me, I'm just going to do a simple, just floating head, at least for the sake of this demonstration. Make sure my stroke weight is back at 3. I didn't check that a second ago. Put that up here. And I'm gonna, after I'm cutting through my beard still, but I'm gonna then meet my cheek. Once the edge of my cheek becomes visible here, you can see this edge and then the hair of my beard coming off the side like that. And make sure I follow the edge of my cheek here.
Yeah.
All the way up till I meet my glasses. Ba-bang. Very good. Now I'm actually going to make this thicker because this is a very defining line for the head. And I'm going to make that ear line thicker. Lines, varying strokes, weights are another stylistic element that can be really helpful in kind of establishing visual hierarchy, right? So like bigger defining edges are sometimes the lighter lines are really helpful for small creases and minor details, whereas the bigger defining shapes are better with thicker lines. And so I've got my bottom chin line here marked at 6 points for my weight, and then my outer ear edge at 5. Now I do with my glasses, I do have this distortion in the lens where it looks like the edge of my face is in a different spot here. Now I'm actually going to adhere to that instead of trying to correct it because it is the realism of how the image looks. Now, of course, because this line is shorter, it's much thicker. So I'm going to bring it down some, bring it back down to 3. Very good. Now we got to continue on with my forehead here at the top of my glasses. Continue that same line as long as I can see the edge of my forehead here. And then now we're starting to get into the hairline. So I'm going to do the same thing I did with my beard. I'm going to kind of cut into the hairline a bit because we're going to later have our hair. Our hair is going to be a separate part. So I'm kind of just capturing the essence of this. I'm going to go around. I'm going to go around the glasses because I don't need my skin tone cutting into that. And now I'm thinking, okay, do I want to do more with my beard? I'll just, you know what? I just need to cut across to my ear. Then I'm done. Very good. I can actually make this kind of blend together here. And I have it curve into the ear. Very nice. Now you could, go ahead and go all the way around the shape of your head and stuff just to have that shape if you wanted to. Actually, I might go ahead and just show you what that looks like for the sake of this demonstration. You can either cut across, you can cut through the hair and go across if you want to. So that way you still get your whole facial color, skin tone. Or you can actually do the shape of the head if you'd like. You don't have to do that because we're gonna end up going over the hair again anyway to do it as a separate shape. But I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like. So if I want to just continue up and kind of follow the edge of the hair. And you know what? If I do that, I might even want to kind of start down here and cut up into the edge of that and go into my head, my hairline. So I'm still staying on the inside of the hair. So we're going to end up doing hair separately in the next video. And then boom, down here, connect with the hair. You can do it that way. If that makes you feel better, easier for you to follow. Or you can just cut across and just cover the area that shows your skin. I'm just going to redo that again to stick with this technique here. You might be thinking, why is this important? Well, it all just has to do with how you're going to end up layering other parts like your hair, right? My hair is going to end up being a totally separate piece. So it's not a huge deal just to have this the way that it is now, just so you sectioned off like that. And then we're going to do the hair separately in the next video. But now if I go ahead and hide my base layer, hey, look at that. It's weird. I look so clean shaven. But here we go. We're doing pretty good. We've got the head, we've got the mouse, and you know what? I've got, like, if there's different features you want to add to, like if you want to add, if you have a cleft in your chin, or want to add a line like that, kind of another chin line, or some, I might actually get rid of that. I might, because I have this little, if you don't have facial hair and you want to make your face look not so plain, you can define your chin a little bit more with a line like this, maybe. Yeah. Just depending on how your chin, how it works, you can have a line that goes across like this. Help define the chin. Yeah. That works. If you want to do stuff like that, you can do that. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. And if I do my facial hair and then decide I still need that line afterwards, I'll add it in. And then one other thing we're going to do in this video before we move on to doing hair is we're going to do a little cleanup. So I have taken this line. I'll do it over here first. So anywhere that you have sort of this overlap and you want to clean it up, like see how this point is kind of sticking out from this other line here? I'm going to select both of these lines. I'm going to go up to the top menu, Object, Expand Appearance. What that does is that now turns these lines from a stroke line into a solid fill shape. You'll see that over here in my fill colors. We switched from a stroke color to a fill color. So now this is actually a fill shape instead of a stroke line. And then you're going to take both of these and only do this once you are good, comfortable with your lines, right? I mean, you don't want to change that stroke anymore. So we're good to do this at this point. If you still want to change your stroke, make sure you change it before you expand it. I'm going to select both of these. I'm going to go over to my Pathfinder on the right side. If you don't have that, you can go to top window, Pathfinder, select that. And bottom left option, divide. With both of these selected, I'm going to hit divide. And what that did is that makes anywhere that there's overlap in these shapes becomes its own shape. So I can now take my direct selection tool, my white arrow, and go ahead and select this. Look at that overlap. Look at that. Boom. Gone. Check it out. Boom. Gone. Now it's kind of sharp on this corner, so I can curve it. Nice. Look how clean. All right, we're going to go over to the other side. I've already expanded these two lines here. You can see that. Now these are fill shapes, and so all I got to do is to select, delete, select, delete. If you select the edge, you'll have to hit delete twice. Get rid of all those anchor points. If you select the center, hit it once. Awesome. I'm actually going to go ahead and add another line here just to kind of make this feel a little bit more natural. The way it cuts off at that corner doesn't quite feel natural. Should that set? Drop that down to 2. Yeah, there we go. Great. Great. All right, that's good there. That's good there. One other thing, these lines down here with the mouth. So I have these little crease lines here, but when you zoom out, they look kind of unintentional. They're not really noticeable. They're super tiny. And so I want them to look intentional. When you have little details like that are just kind of like obscured and not super noticeable, they look like they might have been a mistake. So to make them more noticeable, and you can actually kind of see here that the creases of my mouth do go longer than that. I'm going to take my direct selection tool, my white arrow, and make sure that these long. Now, when I hover over this stroke, you can see that I now have this black arrow with this little curved line icon next to my mouse arrow here. It means that I can just kind of manipulate this curve without clicking the anchor points, which is a kind of nifty tool. I'm trying to make these a little bit more profound, a little bit more defined there. I actually might have these blend better, kind of like that. Yeah, so they kind of blend with the crease of where the lips meet. When this comes up here, curves this way. Just going to go here, grabbing my anchor handles and controlling my curves that way. And then both of these can stand to be a little tad thicker at the one point. So there we go. That's a little bit more noticeable and intentional there. And if you don't like how it looks, you don't have to add them. Just get rid of them. Leave that fine. But I'm going to leave those for now. And then over here, I don't have many creases over here. I'm really just going to make sure that these two lights line up. Right. Then get rid of that. Have that blend in there, and then have this one blend in there. Kind of get it to where you want it. Like I said, you can manipulate it as you see fit. All right. Take a look at it. Oh, yeah. So we are almost there, guys. I mean, we do our hair and we're done with our line drawing for this week.